career. He's really been hurt. He's gone down before one time, but there was a perfect left hand. Roy never saw it coming. Roy is out. And Roy may be out of boxing.
And that's why Tarver wanted to be the counterpuncher, because he answered Roy's right hand.
We stood for two different things. You know, he was a social media blowout. You know, he blew it away. And that fit his character.
After a video clip of Floyd Mayweather watching Roy Jones Jr.'s knockout loss to Antonio Tarver surfaced online, the internet lit up with reactions. In the clip, Mayweather can be seen smiling and nodding while Jones is dropped hard by a counter left hook. That knockout happened in 2004 and marked a significant turning point in Roy's career. Now, years later, Mayweather appears to be using it as ammunition in their ongoing war of words. A war Jones himself arguably started. But if Floyd thought Roy Jones Jr. would stay silent, he was wrong.
Oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got the 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died. If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect
that? Roy Jones threw verbal jabs at Mayweather, repeating what he has always said over the years. He has dismissed Floyd as someone who was great at business but less thrilling inside the ring. For Roy, being remembered isn't just about numbers and records. It's about the kind of fighter you were, the risks you took, and the highlight reel moments you created. And in that area, he has always felt he had the edge. This isn't a new attitude for Roy. Back in 2018, he gave an interview that laid bare how he views Mayweather's standing in the sport. He said Floyd was the best at making money, but pointed to his own highlights as something completely different. He said the two careers were not comparable. He then went even further and claimed no one in any era could touch what he did in the ring. These comments rubbed a lot of Mayweather fans the wrong way.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah,
but in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
But Roy didn't stop there. In a more recent interview on All the Smoke Fight, Jones brought up the name of Sugar Ray Leonard to further make his case. In his view, Leonard was a more dangerous fighter than Mayweather. Not because of the resume, but because of the attitude. He said Sugar was a dog, that he would bring a level of aggression and meanness Floyd never really had. Roy was making a clear point. Skill isn't enough. You need something extra, something tougher, something meaner. He doesn't believe Floyd had that.
Musty energy.
Lord child, the man Floyd Money Mayweather is watching video of Roy Jones getting knocked out. Yeah, man. Roy Jones absolutely getting cooked. And all this is because Floyd Money Mayweather is upset at Roy Jones Jr. for Roy saying that Floyd could not beat a prime Sugar Ray Leonard. Lord child,
no interviews, no tweets, just a few clips posted to Instagram stories. One of Roy Jones Jr. getting knocked out cold by Tarver. Another of him laid out on the canvas after the Glenn Johnson fight. Each video is perfectly timed. Each post saying everything Floyd wanted to say without needing any words at all. The message was simple. While Roy boasts about highlights, Floyd is reminding people of the lowlights. And because Floyd was never knocked out, never seriously hurt, never tested positive for banned substances, the contrast speaks loudly. Even without saying anything, Mayweather is drawing a clear line between the two of them. The undefeated tactician versus the showman who flew too close to the sun. Naturally, fans have taken sides.
Move around, do what he want to do, he gonna beat you because he's very explosive and he's very mean.
I was gonna say mean
to me. People don't give him enough credit. People always say, "Well, Floyd would beat Sugar." No, baby, Floyd is not as near as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think you would have beat him?
How? How you gonna keep him off him? Right. Sugar is a dog. Yeah. Just because his name Sugar don't mean nothing. Yeah. Sugar is a dog. Yeah. People don't give him enough credit for that. You gotta think, this in around between round 13 and 14, I think. Angelo Dundee said, "You're blowing it, son."
Online platforms filled up with comments and debate. One user summed up Floyd's response with a laugh, saying Roy should have known it was coming. They pointed out Floyd's long history of calculated pettiness and psychological warfare. Another user emphasized that Floyd not only stayed undefeated, but never got knocked out or tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. There were also fans defending Roy, arguing that his career was filled with risk-taking and explosive finishes. One comment sarcastically suggested Roy should have just taken easy fights like Floyd did. The implication being that Roy's losses came from him daring to chase greatness while Floyd carefully managed his matchups. Class boxers.
You know, we stood for two different things. You know, he was a social media blowout. You know, he blew it away. And that fit his character because he could do it, you know, and do things the way he did it. He was smarter. I wanted to play King of the Hill. He didn't care to play King of the Hill. He wanted to play King of the Field, which he did.
But the truth is somewhere in between. Mayweather did fight elite names like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, and Marcos Maidana. His path wasn't easy. It was just different. Still, the perception of Floyd's style versus Roy's continues to define the divide. Roy Jones Jr. was flash and dominance and danger. He was the guy who would land a triple left hook with his hands down. The guy who moved up to heavyweight and still looked untouchable. The guy who for a time made world-class boxers look like they didn't belong in the same sport. But after his loss to Tarver, everything changed. He was never quite the same. The reflexes dulled, the speed diminished, and the risks started catching up to him. Glenn Johnson knocked him out cold. Later in his career, he took losses to lesser-known names in small venues far from the bright lights of pay-per-view.
You mentioned Floyd. Where would you put him in the rankings? Mayweather, where would you put him in?
Who?
All right, let me ask you a question.
If you don't respect Muhammad Ali, how can I respect you?
It's a good point.
Floyd never had that phase. He never experienced that kind of fall. He exited the sport at the top undefeated and untouched, then returned for exhibitions that made him millions. From his point of view, he managed his career like a business. He calls himself the best ever, not just for the wins, but for the way he avoided the pitfalls others didn't. He sees Roy as someone who couldn't protect his legacy. And by posting those knockout clips, Floyd is making sure people don't forget it. But for Roy, the story doesn't change. He still sees himself as the superior talent. He still believes that what he did in the ring, the angles, the speed, the showmanship was something no one else has ever matched. He is proud of those moments. And even if the endings weren't perfect, the journey for him was worth it. And that's what he's been trying to explain. For Roy, greatness isn't just about retiring undefeated. It's about what you gave fans along the way.
Well, we're going to know. In the least amount of fights, you know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Roy doesn't need to say anything new. He has already said it all. He believes Floyd is a master of finance, not fighting. That he avoided danger instead of walking through it. That he crafted a career of defense and business moves while Roy chased challenges. That mindset won't change just because Floyd posted some videos. If anything, it reinforces Roy's opinion that Floyd is more interested in appearances than substance. It's not just Roy who thinks this way.
Everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guarantee?
Some figures in boxing media have echoed similar sentiments over the years. They point to Floyd's careful matchmaking, his defensive style, and the timing of certain fights. Others strongly disagree and argue that Floyd's resume is airtight. That beating a young Canelo, a seasoned Pacquiao, a physical Maidana, and a smart Cotto shows everything you need to know. That going 50-0 while making more money than anyone else in boxing proves it all.
Why is the money so important? Why do you always come back to the dollars? People want to know.
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. Me, I'm loyal and honest, and I'm a good person, and I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
What adds fuel to the fire is that both men come from different mental frameworks. Roy believes in giving the fans what they came to see. Floyd believes in giving them what they're willing to pay for. Roy took fights that made no financial sense just to test himself. Floyd waited for the numbers to be right. Roy risked everything in every fight. Floyd risked nothing unless it was calculated. These are not just boxing strategies. They are philosophies. And those differences are exactly why the tension between them won't go away.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed. Like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million.
That Roy's recent jabs at Floyd were part of an effort to stay relevant or potentially set up an exhibition fight. Users suggested that Roy was trying to stay in the spotlight as his financial situation changed. While there's no confirmed financial trouble for Roy, exhibition fights have become popular ways for retired legends to stay active and generate income. Mayweather has taken part in several. Jones fought Mike Tyson in an exhibition in 2020. The idea of the two sharing a ring, even in a non-scored format, would draw interest simply because of the history between them.
They're upset because I'm able to milk the game. I'm smart, kept all my faculties, made a lot of smart investments. So, you know, when great people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the Waltons, the people that own Walmart and Walgreens, when they're getting money in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, 80s, and even 90s, it's okay.
But whether or not that ever happens, the narrative is already established. Floyd is the king of clean records, smooth exits, and calculated counters. Roy is the daring genius who soared higher than anyone thought possible but paid for it with brutal falls. They both represent different sides of the same coin, and that's exactly why their rivalry, verbal or otherwise, feels so personal. For Roy, watching Floyd grin as he gets knocked out is the price of having dared to be great in a dangerous way. For Floyd, posting those clips is a way of proving he made the right choices all along.
I love Floyd, but it seems like everybody's afraid to have that O, to have a 1 or a 2 where the O used to be. Ali lost. Sugar Ray lost. Hagler lost. Hearns lost. These guys lost. When did the O become the end-all be-all?
I think Mayweather, you know, and how he made it big to the public. Like,
Roy Jones Jr. has never been afraid to speak out when something doesn't sit right with him in the boxing world, and his latest remarks highlight a growing concern among fight fans. Following the Times Square event in New York City this past May, Roy made it clear that the modern trend of fighters refusing to engage, particularly on high-stakes and high-visibility cards, is damaging the sport's integrity. In his view, it's not just a style problem. It's an issue that needs structural intervention. He is calling for new rules, or at least a new level of accountability for fighters who use excessive movement and minimal offense to skate their way through fights.
Like, why not Floyd Mayweather? Why isn't he in the top 5?
Floyd Mayweather, he's running the whole 12 rounds and he won the fight.
Manny, who are the top 5 fighters you ever fought, you think?
Barrera, Morales, Morales, Marquez, De La Hoya, Cotto. What else?
According to Roy, some fighters are simply gaming the system. They enter the ring with the mindset of doing the bare minimum required to win rounds, avoid damage, and preserve their records, all while pocketing huge paydays. It's a trend Jones says is being enabled by a boxing culture that tolerates inactivity and overly defensive tactics without consequence. He points out that Turkey Alalshik, who has become a central figure in boxing promotion through his high-budget events, is putting serious money into these shows, yet often not getting a return in terms of action or excitement.
Wealth. Even like when my children, all 4 of my children are adults. And I told them, no more handouts. Because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money. I give them money, I buy them houses, I buy them cars. I told them, listen, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Knockout today and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.